Visible? Hello everyone. This is paper 2. My topic is Meena Kandasamy as an angry Dalit voice. This is my personal information. I am the woman who is willing to display her scare and put them within exhibition frame. I am the mad woman of moon days. I am the breast beating woman who holds. I am the woman who will the sky to weep in my place. Meena Kandaswamy's quote. Who is Meena Kandasamy? Meena Kandasamy is a Chennai-based contemporary poet, fiction writer, translator, activist. She articulates the voice of her own community, her own country to which her forefather belonged at a given point of time or history. She tries to recreate the lives of her community natives to her and make her voice heard in the dominant discourse. She finds herself marginalized on the psychological level and suffer from a split self. She presents herself as a Dalit woman, writer, and retells the Tamil myths by feminist and anti-caste perspective. What is Dalit literature? The literature written by Dalit, for the Dalit, and with the Dalit. Dalit literature is based on a Dalit consciousness and it represents the harsh life experience of marginalized Dalit people. There is always one or other real character behind a fiction name and the depiction of reality behind it. In the all of its literariness and fictionalization, whether in poetry or prose, has a realistic stance. Dalit literature is basically literature of resistance. As Arjun Dangal has defined Dalit literature as a Dalit literature is one which equines people with the caste system and untouchability in India. It matures with a sociological point of view and it is related to the principle of negativity, rebellion, and loyalty to science, thus finally ending as a revolution. Dalit literature is written against to the high class or upper class people by the Dalit society or the people who belongs to Dalit caste. Meena Kandasamy is a Dalit writer. Meena Kandasamy is one of the Dalit writers who attempt to spread light on such aspect of Dalit life, which found no representation in the mainstream literature. Untouchable in poetry are represented neither as a sympathetic beings nor as a inferior human beings. Her approach is on locating the factor which leads to the inferior status of Dalit people. She has published two collections of poetry which titled Touch and the Miss Militancy. Her book Gypsy Goddess is about the caste atrocity occur in a Kilimani. When I Hit You is her autofiction that tells the story of a woman which relatable to many women in the Indian society. Her poems speak about the ways in which Brahmical supremacy was established and discuss the strategy used by the Brahmins in Islam establishing the caste system and patriarchal sociology. As VP Usha mentioned in his journal that Kandaswamy echoes in one of her interviews that she chose poetry consciously because it deals with the language and language is the site of subjugation and oppression. It is poetry which has the power to challenge the oppression of language inequality. She offers her resistance through language. She is conscious of her being a Dalit and feminist. Kandasamy thinks that writing in English has a power to reach the corridor of power and gain a wider audience. She dreams of an English which is free of while men's are white men's and way off from the control of elite people. Meena Kandaswamy's work. She writes mainly about love, caste, and society. She is well aware of the past, and her poetry is rooted in reality. That is reality of Dalit self. As the Touch poem written by Meena Kandasamy. Touch is the most elementary of all sensation which a human being has best over with. Even when in meditation a religious man close his eyes, ear and nose, it is the sense of touch which keep him connected with the world. This feeling of touch is perhaps the first of sense and no one can get rid of it. The same feeling of touch is thought to be a taboo when it tries to transgress compartmentalization of caste. Kandasamy described it beautifully in her poem Touch, in which she give idea about untouchability in the casteism. As upper class believe that if somebody touch someone, then it become unpure or kind of idea. As P. Usha mentioned in his article, the tragedy of a man who, in the poem, that the tragedy of a man who wants to thank his God for the last time because his disease wrecked self has come across a partial recovery from the 10 days of typhoid. In the poem, the protagonist want to thank his God, but he enter in the house of in the temple of Hindu, and they mm, they do tolerance in on him and get it out from the temple. Another poem is a shame, titled Shame. The poem describes the fate of a gang raped girl who fails to gain any kind of sympathy from the people because she was a Dalit. It is the victim who get victimized time and again. There seems no option left for her except to silently embrace death. Her caste make her more vulnerable to harassment and prone to sexual crime. It is a food. In one of the article, Usha mentioned that use the quote of Telugu poet Jeshua writes that when his hand do not work, the green fields hesitate to yield crops. His sweat provide food for the world, but he himself has a no food. It is that the Dalit who works for the food of the people, but when the case of elite people come, that Dalit who is escaped from the food. One Eye, the poem written in Miss Militancy. The poem talks about the Tanam, poor girl who feels very thirsty, touched the pot and drank a glass of water from the pot to quench her thirst. With the clumsy hand, the learned teacher in the school who slapped her the girl for the touching the pot. The concept of untouchability is practiced mainly against the lower caste as well as the lower section people. They are the worst sufferers as they do not have the political and economic power to fight against the upper class people supremacy. They mutely accept subjugation. They do not have the voice to express their condition and portray themselves before the world. Even the inanimate object surrounding her feel the pitied condition of the girl. The pot is just another nosy child, the glass sea an eager and clumsy hand, the water sees, perched throat shaking thirst. In this poem, she tried to explain that the thing which doesn't have a senses. They are able to understand the situation of girl, but the authority or like a teacher, medical, ambulance, teacher, doctor are not able to see the thirst of the girl. But as she wrote about her caste in openly, and she is the one of the most bold and open. She dominant. She is the one who bold and it, without any kind of fear. She speak about the caste and the upper class people. So then critics claim that to read things of hysteria in Kandasamy poetry. Hysteria is the feeling of loss of emotion of oneself. Critics claim Kandasamy is the mad woman in the attic. In interview, Kandasamy state that society will not let angry young woman exist. We will be labeled hysteria. Women aren't allowed to rebel or rage. If they do, they are tagged as a hysteric or rather being made. This hierarchy biased view of patriarchy, which has hitherto silence women from expressing their stark res- resentment towards or against the prevalent ideology is challenged by each of Kandasamy's female protagonists in the poem of Miss Militancy. We find that many of her poems talk about casteism, and she always wrote on the topic like a Dalit feminist writer, condition of women in society, and the condition of Dalit people in this society. As we see this aspect as a in history also, in today also we can see the kind of thing happen in today also. In 2 month ago, before the 9-year old Dalit boy died after he was he was touched the pot of his teacher, and teacher beat him like he died in hospital. Another case is the same story in the poem One Eye. Another one is like a shame poem. A 19-year-old Dalit woman in India's northern state of Uttar Pradesh died after reporting she being gang raped and brutally assaulted by four upper caste men. She cannot fight against those people as they are belong to elite class. At the end, we can say that Dalit literature is a revolutionary, and literature is a weapon through which they have tried to bring social awareness, questioning, subversion, interpretation, etc. are the main features of Dalit writing. In Meena Kandasamy, she observed the casteism and the issues faced by Dalit people in society. But in reality, she is not able to forget the misdeed of the high caste in the past, and thus she is also not able to remain hoodwinked on the present condition of unemancipated Dalit, and especially that of Dalit women. I want to end my presentation with the quote of Swarupa Rani. Dalit women poets feel strongly that Dalit women issues have not been adequately represented in mainstream, condemned for century to a life of bondage, basic needs and questions of survival are still central for Dalit women. As Guru Gopal mentioned in one of his work that men, Dalit men or any men are never take literature, and the literature of Dalit never take seriously, as there is a missing of open, there is a nothing to be learned and nothing to be get. So they never get take seriously to the literature of Dalit woman and the literature of by the Dalit woman. This is my work citation.
હવે એમ ન થાય પંખો કે વાંધો નહીં વિડીયો રેકોર્ડ થાય છે એમ કહું છું હા કોણે મૂક્યું
So, Druvita, as you mentioned in your presentation that her poetry is rooted in reality. So, which type of social reality display more in her work?
As I mentioned, one example poem Shame, which is talk about the reality of today, like the girl who raped by the elite people. They have a political power and money to change the decision of court also. So they cannot fight against those people. And another poem, One Eyed. The recent incident happened in Rajasthan that 9-year-old student beaten by teachers for drinking water from surf board. So this kind of reality of society, she write in her poem.
ક્રીમ ટાંકામાં શું તો પડ્યું છે
So, as you told about casteism, so can you tell about any of her other novel which has any incident that throws the light on the casteism scheme?
Yeah, there in a collection of touch and another militancy. Both the collection of the poem in which she
તારથી એટલા
used
બીવે
many
એટલા બીવે
poem in
કરતી તું
which
દોલું કરસ છો ખાલી ખોટું કોણ બીવે છે
like aggression poem and in
હું કોઈની વસ્તુ ઓડું છું
becoming
મારી
a
ઉપર
Brahmin,
બધા
in which
હું
she
એને જો
talk
લેવો
about
ફેતા એડું એકવાર એડી
identity of Brahmin and the status of
મેં ના પાડી
Brahmin
હતી પણ
and things about Brahmin.
હવે તું એને વાત કરી લેજે તું મમ્મી એમ કેમ મને કરતા બે પાછા બાજુ
એને ફેર છે વાળી
ફેર છે તો